Order filled.
Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to a new YouTube video. In this YouTube video, we'll be breaking down how I was able to catch the high of the day, high of the week, high of the month, high of the quarter, high of the year, how I was able to time the smart money reversal, trading my 30-minute power 3 model, which played continuation, the smart money reversal of the daily power 3. Now, this is also how I made just over $12,000. If you want to copy trade your trades just like I do, then you can use Trade Copia. I'll have a link in the description below. Use code FEAR. You'll get a week free trial alongside 30% off. So anyways, we're going to show you guys the trade recording and then break down everything in depth afterwards. So I'll catch you guys all then.
Do you mind if I take you home tonight? Stay another day, if that's okay. Tell me, baby, would you mind if I take you home with me where no one can see? So don't be shy, baby, baby. Do you mind if I take you home tonight? Stay another day, if that's okay. Tell me, baby, would you mind if I take you home with me where no one can see? So don't be shy, baby, baby. Baby, I like your style, so let's get it on. 'Cause when we touch, I can't get enough. I'm falling for you. Honey, would you like to make love tonight, the whole night? And baby, if you play it right, you could be all mine. Do you mind if I take you home tonight? Stay another day, if that's okay. Tell me, baby, would you mind if I take you home with me where no one can see? So don't be shy, baby, baby. Do you mind if I take you home tonight? Stay another day, if that's okay. Tell me, baby, would you mind if I take you home with me where no one can see? So don't be shy, baby, baby. The whole night, the whole night, the whole night, the whole night. Do you mind if I the whole night, the whole night? Would you mind if I the whole night, baby, honey, baby, the whole baby, honey, baby, the whole baby, honey, baby, the whole baby, honey, baby, would you like to make love tonight, the whole night? And baby, if you play it right, you could be all mine. 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 You could be all mine.
Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that trade recording. I'm going to get into the analysis for today. So usually for these videos, I'm going to show you guys the pre-market analysis in which I post for my private group every single morning. However, I did not post that today. The reason I did not post that today was actually because I was not expecting to even trade whatsoever today. I was expecting only for this week, since it is New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, holiday week, beginning of the year, end of the year. I was expecting to take the entire week off aside from Monday. However, what had changed my mind was the fact of how strong the expansion was overnight. We can see right here that we had our daily power 3 open Thursday 6 p.m. for Friday, and we expand higher roughly 300 points. That is super strong volatility, And due to that, I was expecting price to at least give pretty decent price action. And the only reason I was, confident in that we would continue to move going into New York session was based off the daily power 3 development. We kind of discussed this in the previous video on how our power 3s develop, and this is what I talk about in my first YouTube video, is that when we have our daily power 3s, not just daily power 3s, but when we have our power 3s in general, we always know that we're going to have a classic open. In fact, my bad, we'll start over again. For a classic bullish example, we're going to have an open, we're going to open up, we're going to accumulate. Obviously, the accumulation is not just going to be perfectly sideways. Sometimes it's going to be downwards accumulation, upwards accumulation, or just all around. And this is just going to be a perfect textbook example. We accumulate, manipulate, end of the manipulation, we have some sort of SMT, and then perhaps going into New York Open, we begin the distribution. Either we catch the smart money reversal, or we just play continuation. That's what your classic power 3 is going to look like. And again, for those who are uneducated on what power 3 is, what AMD is, please go watch one of my first YouTube videos, power 3 versus AMD. There is a difference. The difference is that AMD is a pattern, and that power 3 is the open high low close, open low high close of our candle. And that looks like this, where you have your open, which is all the way back here. You have your open, low, which is what the manipulation is, open low, high, close. Your classic candle. This is what your classic development looks like. And what you should see, some sort of SMT at the end of the manipulation. And even aside from the SMT, structure-wise, you should see something like this. We look back here, that's clearly not what we saw. There was no accumulation, even accumulation aside, there was no manipulation whatsoever to support this expansion higher. So what can we do? What can we classify that as? We can classify that this entire expansion higher, this entire move higher, we can classify that as manipulation. And the reason that even with such strong expansion, we wouldn't consider that we would drop down to discount, expand higher, or even just play continuation higher going into New York Open. The reason we could not consider that is because this is also the beginning of a new daily power 3, new yearly power 3, new quarterly power 3, new monthly power 3, and I think I did say weekly power 3 earlier, but that's actually not the case. Weekly power 3 technically has already been developing throughout this entire week, and we're kind of going to throw that aside. Point is that within our monthly power 3, quarterly power 3, and yearly power 3, there's no development just yet. There's been no manipulation, no accumulation, no manipulation within the monthly power 3, quarterly power 3, and yearly power 3. And since our higher time frame power 3s are not yet distributing, we cannot validate this to play continuation off of. Instead, this is entirely bearish power 3 development. So we're going to actually quickly reference last year's development. This is how it's going to click. Because what I'm getting at here is how I do my top-down analysis for power 3s. We're going to start here, going back to the beginning of last year's yearly power 3. Last year's yearly power 3 in January 2025, we saw accumulation all the way back here, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Since our yearly power 3 was distributing higher, we wanted to see our lower time frame power 3s continue that. And so we're going to actually go prior to October, because October just accumulated. So yearly power 3, smart money reversal, distribution higher. Going into our quarterly power 3, what do you think we want to see? We want to see continuation of that. Quarterly power 3 opens up so we have January to March. In fact, let me just make it simple and turn on my indicator for power 3s. So 3-month, quarterly, and show that. So yearly power 3 opens up, manipulates, distributes, and so we can see right here. And so most recent quarterly power 3, all the way back here, beginning of August. Wait, my bad, not August, July. July is Q3. First, right here. So Q3 opens. I'm going to go back a little bit to ignore the... There we go. So quarterly power 3 opens. what do we want to see? We want to see continuation of that. Look all the way back here, beginning of the quarterly power 3. All we see is a singular down close candle, manipulates down, taps into a daily BISI, SMT with your previous day low. If you look at these candles right here, look at the 3 indices, SMT with your previous day low with YM, and then we expand higher from there. Boom, our yearly power 3, quarterly power 3, both of which are distributed higher, monthly power 3. We want to see continuation of that. So August opens up, and what do we see? Open, low, we play continuation. Since our yearly power 3, quarterly power 3, still bullish. Going into the next month, September, we want to see continuation of that. September opens up, manipulates down, SMT with these lows, and then we expand higher from there. So what that means is these higher time frame power 3s are distributing higher. So lower time frame power 3s, we want to see continuation of that. Today we didn't have that because it's the beginning of a new year, new quarter, new month. So we had no development within our yearly, quarterly, and monthly power 3. So there is nothing to support longs here. There's nothing to support no manipulation within our daily power 3 because our higher time frame power 3s have yet to manipulate. So that's just the overall higher time frame mindset going into this trade. Now we can get into market open. Market opens all the way back here, 9:30, and we can study this price action. So immediately, a lot of people are going to question, Fear, why did you not short 9:30? My answer to that is I actually did. I took this on a few evaluations, which I'm going to show you right now. Took this on a few evaluations. And for anyone who's questioning the setup, we can see right here that market opens 30-minute power 3, manipulates higher. In this manipulation higher, boom, 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 go back here. And Q runs out the previous 9-minute low, or 9-minute high. Yes, fails to. Boom, boom, right here and here. And YM also pretty sure fails to. Do that. SMT with the previous 9-minute high. We also had a little crack calculation called microcycle with these highs right here. So we had micro 90-minute at the highs, 1 minute time frame. For reference, my bad, I forgot to show the trade. It was right here off of this 15-second CIZ. Was just a scalp, some evaluations. So that was it. I took this trade. Took that trade, sold it at the low hanging fruit, and that was my market open. And initially I was planning on only taking that trade, just chilling on some evaluation gains. However, what absolutely convinced me that we're going to see another setup later on was this. So market opens, got that setup, got shorts. We're going to let it play out. And as this plays out, I want you guys to take a guess as to what you see here. Why would we, at the price, opens up within 30-minute power 3, manipulates down, and then expands. We expand after YM runs out the low of the day, puts in the manipulation, runs a pre-sale low. Why do we still be looking to short? Well, because NQ never reached a significant point of interest. There's a few different significant points of interest, one of which could have been the EQ of the range. It would make sense. We expand aggressively within the daily power 3. It would make sense if we were to return to EQ and then expand higher. Not for me, but for some of you guys might have been thinking that. Another one would have been the the true day open. Instead, what we end up doing, and this is what absolutely convinced me, was 1, we already failed to rebalance the range below. 2, we engineer liquidity right above the true day open. And for those who are not familiar with true opens, we can just classify the true day open as the midnight open because they are the exact same, just different terms. But true opens in general is a QT concept. True day open is the same as the midnight open. We instead engineer liquidity perfectly above the true day open. In this expansion higher, what we do is then hold multiple different stages of SMT. So keep in mind that we're holding SMT with the right here with the previous day high. And this is a little bit subjective, we'll say, because the previous day high being Wednesday, that's not that ideal. But because the market was closed on a Thursday, we can technically classify that as SMT with your previous day high because there's no price action within Thursday's trading. So we can classify that as SMT with the previous day high. On top of that, we also were still holding the entire time SMT with that previous 9-minute high, and again, boom. Then again on a lower time frame, we were still holding this lower time frame SMT right here and here. So now we have SMT with the previous day high, SMT with the overnight highs, and again another lower time frame SMT. From there, all I did, very simple, kept it very simple, was an enter off the very next, meant to turn that off, enter off the very next CRSD, which was found right here. I think my fill was at, actually can check this. Yeah, I mean, we'll show this chart. Entry was at the 1-minute CRSD. I was right because we closed above right here, and specifically got filled at 751, took profit at the 2-day open, and that is essentially how I was able to catch the high of the day. I said high of the week earlier, didn't mean that. High of the day, high of the month, high of the year, high of the quarter, all of them. And now what is more than likely happening is that we are going to be putting in, going into next week, continue to put in the manipulation for our yearly, quarterly, and monthly power 3. That would be the most ideal scenario for me. But overall, on the higher time frame, what we want to see is price continuing to put in the manipulation for the year, quarter, month. So as of now, we do have our eyes on the previous month low, which is your December low, and actually below there, we also have the previous quarter low, which is a little bit more ideal in my eyes, is for a potential yearly, quarterly, monthly reversal, is that we seek out to the previous quarter low. But obviously, you don't want to be too bearish in bullish structure, so I'm going to take that with a piece. I don't even know the saying, but we want to be careful there. But that's overall how I was able to catch high of the day. I was able to lock in just under 1 of 3 risk reward. That's my stop loss was up here, just under 1 of 3, but had the possibility, had the potential to be up to a 1 to 6, or actually a 1 to 7, targeting previous day low, even if I was going to be that risky, 1 to 7.43. So any questions, comments, concerns, just list those in the comments below. Might have missed something, but overall, I'll catch you guys all in the next video.